So, so how are we gonna do this? So how are we gonna do this? Are we gonna? I say we get together, right? And we find Lenglet and throw X at him. Somebody of you is gonna make something worse. Some of you are gonna thinking about. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case. I never vote for anyone getting, but but Lenglet is so trash, dude. Oh my god. Dude, I wake up. I make the effort to freaking wake up at 8 a.m. Dude, I had like... Oh my god, I'll show you. I'll freaking show you. So, when I wake up for today, I have like... Look how many freaking... Let me see if it's actually showing. I had all of these freaking alarms, right? Up the way to 8 there. And I did my best to wake up. Lenglet fucking ruins my day. I'm so mad. This is honestly worse. It's worse than the PSG game because like at least we saw it coming from a mile away. You know, we saw it from a mile away. Lenglet here, it just basically like sugarcoating us. He's trying to make us feel good, and then at the end he just freaking like I don't know. I was gonna say something really bad, but he just. I'm gonna say he freaking rapes you. Like, oh my god, Lenglet. I'm so annoying. I'm so annoyed. I'm so annoyed. I'm really it's funny. It's funny, yeah. If I was a neutral, I would be fucking laughing. If this was Nacho Fernandez, if this was Lucas Vazquez, I would be fucking laughing my ass off. But no, it has to happen to us, right? We have the chance to get back in La Liga title race after Atletico Madrid has blunder after blunder after blunder. They lost enough points in these last games as much as they did in the entire season. So this is the moment to strike. They're vulnerable. You know what? They're freaking vulnerable. And 87.4, if you just see spamming, you know what to do, bro. You're my moderator. You got the power, so do it. But we see Atletico Madrid losing these many points. This is a moment to strike because they're weak. Their mentality is kind of wobbling here and around. They're not gonna give too many chances because I know Simeone will get this team back on track, right? We're talking about El Cholo Simeone, and Barcelona just doesn't take it. Barcelona just doesn't take it. We saw Real Madrid almost once again similar to Barcelona. Real Madrid's game against Real Valladolid was very similar to the one that we saw today against Cádiz, because in Cádiz they have a very similar, I won't say style of play, but I think Real Valladolid went more trying to get the goal. But likewise, Real Madrid are weaker attacking. But the thing is that what happened today is more of its own fault of Barcelona, and that is the reason why we won't get further. We won't get back to the very best, because every single championship side out there, you take a look at how they're built, and they're all starting from the bottom. They're all starting from the defense, from the center backs. You do not get that, you're not getting anywhere. You need a proper defense, a proper partnership. And we don't have that. We have a player in Lenglet that is just a joke. Literally, like literally. He has conceded 3 penalties already this season. And all of them has been costing us. All of them. All of the penalties that Lenglet has committed has cost us the game. That's a fact. I read it from a friend on Twitter, and I trust her, so yeah. But the thing is that it's just annoying, honestly. It's really painful to watch. It is, and I don't know really how to get past. I'm disappointed, and this is not like, this is the moment like when your parents go to you and say, I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. I'm the same. I'm just freaking disappointed, and that's how the dressing room are gonna be feeling about Lenglet. And you know what's the problem, guys? Is that I don't know what to do. Like, for fuck's sake, I like Laporta a lot, and I mean he's gonna win 100%. But are you sure signing Eric Garcia wouldn't have done that good? Are you sure that wouldn't have done that good? Because I know people are saying Eric Garcia this, Eric Garcia that, but the thing is that a lot of people forget is that when you have a player like that knows this system in and out, and he knows the club, he feels part of it, he might just feel like a sock onto it, like really, like fit perfectly. Second goal for Inter, Lautaro Martinez in the Milan derby. I'm just watching it here on the side. But yeah, what I mean is like he could improve. He could improve. You see players that move from a club to another and they just instantly fit perfectly. Why? Because their requirements and their skill set kind of just fall in nicely with the club. And that is something that with Eric Garcia could have happened. And I think his signature was nothing. He was offering to pay a part of the transfer wage itself, the transfer budget, the transfer fee itself. And Barcelona are not taking the chance to do that, bro. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. I don't get it. Because what else we could have done? In my opinion, maybe I think this is going to be a last straw for Koeman. Maybe. I'm not too sure. I think that Koeman will 100% go to LENGLET and talk to him and be like, what the fuck, dude? And because Koeman is that sort of guy, you know. Koeman he literally kicked out Suarez single-handedly. Well, not single-handedly, but he was the guy doing the calling, the dialing. So I know that he's going to be talking to LENGLET. That's 100% sure. And probably we don't see him start the next game against Elche, and we see Mingueza start with Piqué. That may be the case, right? We just need Araujo so much, dude. Sevilla, people are saying Sevilla going third place. Oh yeah, dude, yeah. But what I mean is that we need a proper defense, and Araujo, I think, can give us that alongside with Piqué for now. But in the long run, we need somebody else. It sounds dumb, but for instance, in my career mode, I always get a center back in. Always, because we need that other player. I think Araujo can be a good number one, a new number first center back, but we need a second one. We need somebody else who can mix with him and gel perfectly for the future. I have absolutely no idea who could he be, because right now LENGLET seems nowhere to be found. He was good, dude, and I was praising and talking about him like he was a godsend. He really was. The first two seasons, the season that we had the yellow kid, the really like vibrant kid. He was playing amazing. He was playing really, really good. I remember the game he had against Manchester United. That was a proper performance from a defender. And that LENGLET is gone. He's gone, dude. I don't know what has happened to him. He's hanging out too much with Umtiti. That has to be it, right? That has to be it. So now, that's gonna be it for LENGLET. We may bitch about LENGLET more in the future. But let's get into your questions and let's see how we go. I'm gonna talk about a little bit then the points that I kind of want to make that I saw in this game. Well, let's start with a little bit of your chats just to get you involved, right? So we have Adil Ahmed here saying, when Koeman came, he showed some ownership and offloaded some old players like Rakitic, Suarez, Vidal, and showed that he's boss. But now he can be But now why he can't just bench Busi, Piqué, LENGLET, and Nava? I don't know, dude. And that's the thing, Joe Pierre. Was it Joe Pierre? No, it was Adil Hamid. I'm not sure. That's the thing. One of the things that pains me that a lot, and that is why we made that video about the Koeman era going off rails. If you haven't seen that video, guys, go there and check it out. It's an analysis onto Koeman's tenure and what went wrong against PSG, because it reflects a lot of where these Barcelona side are right now. So go and check it out, that video, if you haven't seen it already. I'm gonna just link it here on the chat, because it's actually, I think, a good video, not just because I made it, but because we touch on good points. And one of the points here is what Adil Hamid is saying. And that is that Koeman came in like a commander. He came in like a general. He came in like this guy who was going to revolutionize his club, who didn't care whatsoever about the opinion of people. And out of absolutely nowhere, he just... he just absolutely out of nowhere just flopped completely, because he doesn't have the same guts to the decisions that he did before. And that is something that pains me a lot, because I was a voucher on Koeman because of it. I was a voucher on Koeman because he was going to take this harsh decision when nobody else wanted to. And when you have the chance to bench Busquets, I don't know, bench Alba, because we really don't have that much better options. But I would certainly bench Busquets 100%. That is a player that I want of my team right now, because he doesn't give you enough. Busquets was so good when he was able to just... when he was able to just play completely like a normal CDM and had the backup of all the rest of our midfielders. But when you don't have that, that is Busquets just gone, because mentally he's not as good as he once was. So therefore, when it comes to cover up those spaces, he's just very, very weak. All of that we touched it on that video, and I do another video. I'm doing one for the moment, and that we're gonna talk about keep, sell, or loan. So yeah. But well, back into this. Stop crying, the season is almost over, says Kemar Providence. And that's the thing, dude. The season I thought it was over against PSG, but then out of nowhere, Atletico Madrid just gives us this chance, and it's like Barcelona just had like one day of feeling they could actually win something, and they have to go and win it. And like many people are saying, we shouldn't just focus on LENGLET. We should focus also, alternatively, on the attack. And that is something that I also want to give a lot of insight to, because you're right on that. Our attack was very weak. Griezmann, Dembélé, Messi. Most of the games has worked so far. Against Granada, it worked. But mainly because I think we're facing teams with a lot of space. When you don't have that much space, Griezmann doesn't do as good. And probably just Dembélé, I almost said Dumbele, like Dumbele. Dembélé is just our only option when it comes to that. Oh, Lukaku almost scored an amazing goal. So, yeah, a lot of people are saying, why don't we bring Trincao? Because Trincao is a player that is very good at opening up these tight defenses. And I cannot tend to agree with you. I don't see the problem in shifting and having a hybrid formation that is capable of adapting, well, not formation, but starting 11, capable to adapt into the situations that needs to come by. I would have said that against a team like Cádiz, we should have seen Puig, Pedri next to De Jong in the midfield, and then up top see Messi, Dembélé, and Trincao. Because with Trincao and Dembélé, you get these two wingers that are constantly overlapping, constantly trying to fight on one-on-one, and constantly trying to beat your opposition. Pedri and Riqui Puig do the same, but from the midfield. So I think you have already 5 outlets to try and beat that defense, to open it up and find the spaces in between. Because what Barcelona did in this game that was so hampering of their performances was that they would just kind of flood as many people in the center of the middle of the park, and then they wouldn't have enough capabilities to open up. That is something that happens to a lot of teams when you don't know exactly how to do the tiki-taka style of football, because tiki-taka isn't just passing and moving around. It's moving in the right areas and knowing when to stretch and when to come narrow. But when you have just players that are constantly trying to be narrow, you get no width. And without no width, there's no way of trying to beat a defense like Cádiz. So yeah, I agree with you with so much. It's just horrible. We don't have any mods. So anybody wants to be a mod for this live stream? Anyone want to be a moderator? I'll take one. So indeed, after that, one thing that pains me a lot is the fact that Koeman's game management is also very, very weak. We saw the way that he tries to bring in new players in, and it just sucked, honestly. But it's so gross. Manas Pabricara says, bro, I think it is probably of the players. How can 3 coaches fail with the same team? How can 3 coaches have same impact? I know, and this is the thing. There has to be something ingrained in this team that all of the 3 coaches that we've seen so far, they always revert to trying to be more defensive in the big games. So it always happens that when it comes to these big games, they kind of crumble. And I know this wasn't a big game against Cádiz, but it's just a reflection of what happened in the PSG game. This Cádiz game is probably the continuation of it. We see PSG could be like the second movie, you know, in a trilogy. This is the last movie, and the time when you have to actually come back and do something, they wasted completely. So indeed, and Lukaku just scored 3-0 against Milan. Inter are destroying AC Milan. They are properly destroying, and Lukaku is just shouting at Ibrahimovic now. But indeed, I just feel that when we get these young players in, we're going to be seeing more of a rebuild, and I know that's what a lot of people of you want. Many of you were asking me, what has happened to these young players? What happened to the rebuild? What happened that Sports said that Mundo Deportivo said that we're going to be getting this young breed of players. Well, all of that comes with, I think, with injuries. We don't have those young players. When Ansu Fati returns, when Araujo returns, I think we're going to be better, but I just hope that time comes. Wait, give me just a second. Some of you were talking about can you mommy please? I don't know, dude. I'm looking at who do I know kind of turns up in our videos for mods. So that is what I mean. So let me just check 1 minute. I know you turn up to our mods. Okay. Agnes Sain saying, bro, Messi is the cause. He's the one who has the bad influence on the dressing room. I think that's a hot take indeed. That's a proper hot take. But the reality is that I think it's a mix of many things. And I think the players do feel not Messi's direct bad influence, but just the fact that they are kind of pressured by the fact that they have to impress, you know? So yeah, I wouldn't be mad that Messi leaves. I wouldn't be disgusted, honestly. But indeed, you know? What else? What else do we have? When it's all over. So the reboot is next year, apparently. Air Slayer, Valverde started this week mentality in this squad. I think that isn't particularly a truth statement, but I do get what you mean. I think the club started to go downhill with Valverde, and that's where we saw the traction moving and just getting to this huge snowball effect that we see now. Yo, Pierre Buga, what do you think about the partnership Araujo and Koundé? I think Koundé is a very good player, and I do feel that could work because Koundé is much more of a cover, whilst Araujo is a player that really move forward and try to get the ball higher up the field. So I do agree with that statement. I do feel that would be a good partnership because Koundé is this kind of, don't get this wrong, but there's always kind of like a big brother and a small brother in a partnership duo, or I guess you could say an alpha and a beta. So I see Koundé more as the beta, not because he's the worst player. I think he's probably the better one out of the two, but the way of his style of play basically is that, you know? So I feel that could work. Real Madrid, UE, PSG, Cádiz, Bayern, Liverpool, Lenglet show. Mingueza should be in place of Lenglet. I think we should try that out. 100% for now. I think Mingueza should play instead of Lenglet because he's just costing us so much, and there's no point in validating. There are no arguments. And here's the thing, and I gotta love your pain. There's no arguments for Koeman to try and keep Lenglet in the starting 11. There are no arguments. There are more things against Lenglet than positive. Before I would say there were, but now there are basically none. Piqué coming from where we came, it was very important to win today. It is hard hit more where we came from. Well, I did not get that quote. Adil Hamid. Luis Enrique doesn't even allow Alba to be anywhere around his dressing room because he's such a toxic man and sends some negative vibes all around. He's not that bad as a player, but his mind in soon be, I don't know what that word is. Reinier, imagine these attacking players under Laporta, Depay, Dembele, Ansu, Haaland, Trincao, Messi. I think that works. But the thing, honestly, that pains me the most, guys, is that these problems are not gonna be fixed right now. I think in the summer transfer window, if Barcelona can, here's the thing: if Barcelona can sign Haaland, if they for any reason they can't sign Haaland, and when I mean can, I mean if we sell this player, we sell this player, and we sell this player, and then we sign Haaland, I think we should take it. I think we need to do everything in our power to try and get Erling Haaland to the Camp Nou, because we're talking about not only probably the generational talent of the next decade mixed with Mbappe, so those two are going to be the new Ronaldo and Messi, but I also mean that we literally are getting a player that we need. We need a volume shooter. We need a volume scorer, and Haaland is two. Haaland is the two. Haaland is such a good player, dude. And imagine that player at the end of the chances that we created today. A proper number 9 wouldn't be letting any one of those sleep. Haaland is a wonderful striker, and I cannot stress enough how much I want him in this team. He really is for me the real deal. And for me, the problem always with Haaland, if you remember correctly, I don't know at what time you start watching this channel, but I always said Haaland is a player that for me, I didn't know whether he could play with the ball at his feet and be a good associative link. But he has demonstrated he's a much better player like that. And he's able of not only scoring, but also assisting. Perhaps not as much, but he's still able to do some things. And as much as he's improving in that side, little by little, which is very little, but little by little, then this team relies more on a striker. So it's the necessity of Barcelona trying to get a striker and the improvement of Haaland together just combines perfectly. I want to get Haaland. I really, really do. He's my main target so far. I want to get Haaland. Pokemon Geek saying, why does every goalkeeper become world class against Barca? I have absolutely no idea, but that's the case. That's the case. That's frustrating because I think that we see the pattern. I don't think we don't shouldn't ask the question, why is this goalkeeper so good? Why are then goalkeepers so good every time they play against Barcelona? Probably because we are not as good as finishing. And probably too because the way that we play allows for more shots on target, and that's therefore when these goalkeepers kind of really show their skill. Goalkeeping is a very interesting position because when you don't have a team that attacks you that much, you don't really get to show your quality. So when you have Barcelona that are constantly shooting, that are constantly trying to score against you, then it makes sense for a goalkeeper to really turn up, right, and show its skills. So I get that it's frustrating, but it's what it is. This is a quote from Alba. A7 13 47. Whenever you do a quote, can you put a source from when you got it so we know? Thank you. The culprits are us. At least he's talking about to take the blame, I guess. Also, why do you think we need so many chances to score, and why today we were so offside so many times? I don't get the offside is lack of focus, honestly, because there was a chance a counter attack where Braithwaite was offside. I don't know if you know this guy, but he was offside, and it was an offside not because the defenders were doing like an offside trap on Braithwaite. It was more because Braithwaite was just dumb and didn't notice that he was offside. So that focus is something that he needs to improve. Keith Fernandez, make a video on how Haaland would fit Barca. I already did a video, guys, about a very in-depth analysis on Erling Haaland, about how he plays and what he would fit to any team. So go and check out that video. You can find it in the channel under Player Spotlight. Erling Haaland, I already made a video on that. I want to make another video on Haaland, but that video is already there. So go and check it out. It's a good video, a very good video. I really like it. One of my favorites I've ever done. What about a center back? I would get a center back 100% as well, but the thing is that there are not that many world-class center backs at the price that we want. And I think that Haaland right now would still be better in a sense because we can get Eddie Garcia for free at Araujo, see how that works. And if it doesn't, then we go splash center backs. I think that Barcelona at some point, I think Barcelona at some point in the near future should go for the Liga. After 2 seasons with Juventus, or was it 3? I think it was 2022. He gets a release cost of 100 million. So you can buy the Liga for 100 million. And I think that would be good for us. If we can buy Haaland, then ride the storm until we get enough money, then to buy the Liga, I think that could work. Well, I mean, if you want to spend less, you can buy Koundé, 100% as well. Des did not play bad today, says Manuel Helmi. I agree with you. I think that Des was good. I think that Des is a very good player when it comes to these teams that you need to open up because he really acts as a winger. He acts like a Dembele. He acts like a Trincao because he's going to be constantly trying to beat one-on-ones. That's one of his best skill sets, best traits. So I do get that. I do see Des playing well today. I agree. I really like Des. And this is the thing. I don't get the pressure. Why there's so much pressure on Des? Because he's just a youngster. He's 20 years old. The last time we saw a proper fullback get at this age and then continue progressing and mold to the fullback that we needed, we saw Dani Alves. We saw Jordi Alba. I'm not saying he's going to reach that level 100%. We don't know. But we can just wait and see. You know what? We can just wait and see what's going to happen with him. And I like him a lot. I really, really do. I think his attitude needs to improve a little bit more because right now Des is a player that doesn't really care that much. And I don't know if I'm doing a disservice to him, but it does make sense. And it's not bad or good. It's good in a way because it means that when you're playing these teams, when the team is going bad, you're playing a better team, you just play your own game. Des always plays his own game, and that's perfect, like Dembele. There are players that don't really care. They just go and do their own game. That is proper. But that also can hinder you because it means that you're not focused 100%. You have that oblivious mentality. I think that's a better word of playing. You have this oblivious mentality where nothing affects you, where you just play your own thing and you're kind of ignoring the rest. So there sometimes can be positive, sometimes can be negative, but yeah. But I would love to see Messi play against our defense. I wouldn't wish that on my own kids. I want to die before I ever see that. Honestly, Messi playing against Barca would kill me. it would kill me. It would kill me. Like, if we beat him, fine, perfect. But if he plays against us and he beats us and destroys us, it would destroy my mentality. Golden Poppy says, do you think we will come back against Sevilla in the Copa del Rey? It's a difficult one. But I think it can be done. I think 100% it can be done more than PSG. I think we just have to be very careful how approach that game, because if we go full out, I think we need to go full out and get like one early goal, and then we're set. One goal puts us back right in the tie. So I'm happy by going for it. The thing is that against PSG, we need 2 goals to get back in the tie, and that's harder. I mean, 2 goals to feel that we're back in it, because we're 4-1, right? So we get 2 goals for 3. I think Sevilla 100% we can beat. What the fuck are you talking about? There is no chance Haaland wants to join, even if he gets too fun to sign him. Why would he want to join us? Want to play with Messi? Now Messi will quit in the summer. Kevin Akbar. Dude, there is. I'm not saying there is hope. I'm saying what I want. I would like to sign us. Barcelona has to do everything in their power to try and sign Haaland. If then Haaland doesn't want to come, then fine. But we haven't reached that point. We haven't reached that point. We have to get to that point to know what the answer will be. There's no point to have that attitude that you have right now and just sit with your hands like in a cross, you know, just being all like, it's never going to come. Try to do your best always. Give your 100% and see what happens from there. Barcelona has to make sure they are able to sign Haaland. Have to put the offer on the table and see what he says. And if he says no, fair play. Fair game, we go for somebody else. But that is the sort of attitude that we need to have, because if we have the other mentality where we're just sitting down and thinking like, oh, nobody wants to come to us, we're shit, we're never going to improve. Nobody improves thinking they're shit. Everyone improves thinking they can get better. So Barcelona, we need to get better. Pokemon Geek, what effect does a proper board have on the mentality of these players? I think a lot, because they see somebody watching over them. Right now, Barcelona is a race, so I get to the club and you feel like you're working towards nothing. There's no path, there's no way of direction. A board will give that sort of GPS to them. So indeed, I think that'll be good. Vivian Buga, you're right about the way Barca is playing. We're not playing tiki-taka. What Barca is doing is just a lot of back passes and hiding behind the position. Does Koeman think about this? I wonder. I think Koeman knows, but I also think that he cannot do much more. Well, he can do. At least he could bench Busquets and Piqué and see how we go from there. We don't have the right tools to, I think, remedy that problem. I mean, we have other players to play those positions, but they're I think a little bit too raw. I think a manager indeed. Sorry about that. I think a manager indeed would like to look for a kind of middle ground, and that's why he plays like Pedri, De Jong, Busquets, and not just out youngsters. But I think that's what Koeman has to do. There's really no choice. There really is no choice. Where is this guy? Yo, Pierre. Buga, I love Messi, but today all our players pass to him even when it didn't make sense. The more we delay Messi leaving, the more we delay our players becoming independent and self-reliant. That is something that I agree a lot with, in fact. But I also feel that sort of mentality can come with Messi in the squad. If we're able to change that of what you're saying, Yo, Pierre, and play Messi with players that are independent and they do have the mentality where they go, okay, I don't need to pass to Messi all the time, I think that's how our team improves. And if you realize that, and if you realize Koeman at the start of the year, at the start of the season, his team didn't rely on Messi. Barcelona won against Celta Vigo and Villarreal. I know they were the first 2 games of the season. But Barcelona won against them. They beat them by not relying on Messi. And that is a wonderful thing. Because it means that we get this luxury player on top that can just do everything out of nowhere. Now we rely on Messi. And when you don't rely on Messi, I think that's much better. So indeed, I would want the team to change. I think it can happen with Messi, but also likewise, it's harder without him. It's easier without him. Koeman should go and watch video analysis. The game change things. There's no technical improvement. None. I know, right? But I also feel that how it's gonna change. 1 billion in debt. How are we gonna buy Haaland? I mean, you don't have to pay the debt right now. You can still get more debt. I think that's what Barcelona are gonna do eventually. I'm not saying that's what we should do. Nobody should do that. Never get yourself in debt. But that's something my mom from very little taught me. Never get yourself in debt. But it wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't. It really wouldn't that Barcelona just act like that, clueless. They go for it and try and buy something. Imagine we end up like Arsenal, a team dropping lower and lower. I don't think that's far away, honestly. We have to take right decisions. Arya Deep Sea, the Dembele's decision making in front of goal is dreadful. The goal should have started from the right. I love how so many people now are Team Trincao. Team Trincao, let's go. But I think the Dembele is good. I think it's fine. But I understand the frustration with the decision making. I think also is that we see it in more games like this, where, but yet again we saw it against PSG. So I think you are more right than wrong. I think it's an area of his game that he would have to improve on. He reminds me a lot of this type of Sterling, where I think he's better than Sterling personally, but where Sterling was just a good player, like the very good player, like Dembele, but then he added finishing, and he just became clutch. And I think that that's something that Dembele needs to work on every single time. Yo, Pierre, please do everything to get a Haaland, even if we have to sell Tercera and have Neto in goal. I'm ready to do that for Haaland. No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't, bro. You're mad. You would. Tercera wins you so many games. Don't sell Tercera. That's dumb. Keith Fernandez saying, have you heard the rumors of Mino Raiola wanting to improve his relationship with Laporta? I know, I heard those rumors. I think honestly, if Barcelona have any chance of buying a player from Raiola, Haaland in this case, is going to come from that. It's going to come from the relationships that Laporta has. To come back against Sevilla, we need two wingers. I don't think that's an unpopular opinion with logic. I don't think that really is an unpopular opinion. I think that's facts. I really think it's a fact. I think we need wingers to open up and try and beat Sevilla that way. Griezmann is a flop, sell him. That's what Godvilla says. Garis, I'm going to try to pronounce your last name. Garis Catulustiwa says, every French player like Lenglet, Umtiti, Griezmann and Dembele are not deserve playing this cup. Kick them all. That's harsh. That's really harsh. There's no reason to say, first of all, French. I think there's no reason to say that. Not reason to try and put them all in the same category. I think Lenglet is fine. Like, I think Umtiti sell. I think Griezmann is a sell if we get a striker. I think Dembele is a keep 100%. I think Lenglet is a stay but not a starter. I think Lenglet is kind of like a fourth choice center back if we don't have nothing else. If we have Araujo, Eric Garcia, let's say Lenglet and Mingueza next season, I think Lenglet should be third or fourth choice. I don't think he should be first choice, but I think that's how it is because we can. That's the thing. Another thing, guys, is that we cannot sell that many players because we don't have enough money to bring things back, you know. So it's like we have to be very wary of what we're gonna be doing next season. I would keep Lenglet because he's decent, but not for the first team. Not for the first starting 11. Play Araujo and play somebody else. Who's more disappointing, Griezmann or Firmino? I think Griezmann in a sense because Firmino plays what Firmino does for Liverpool system makes more sense. Not right now in this Liverpool team because Liverpool team are all over the place, so I don't get that. But Griezmann right now is just like a bonus. Griezmann is not vital to our system, so. What did Barcelona see in Lenglet that made him buy him? He was good. The thing is that people, we are so fast to forget that Lenglet was actually good the first two seasons. He was honestly really, really, really good. He was proper good. He got his French national call-up. People were saying he was better than Varane. In France, people were loaning him. He was a very good player. Very, very good center back. Very good center back. And that's the only reason why I think we can keep him. Because if he's able to regain that sort of consistency, he was never a top 5 in the world center back, but he was decent. Now he's got awful. But if we're able to find that decency, he can still be a good squad option. And that's sort of what I think Barcelona should aim for, but not keeping him as a starter. I don't think Lenglet is the next generational center back for Barcelona in the future. I don't think that's the case. But sometimes we are so quickly to judge that players has to be that. And players who don't reach that level, players that reach that level are so far and few between that it's honestly redundant to continue talking about that. There's so many few top center backs in the world. You take right now the top center backs in the world, and you have Koundé, Koulibaly, Van Dijk, Marquinhos, De Ligt, You could say Ramos. But Ramos is more for what he does to Real Madrid than actual defending. But you know what I mean. Lenglet put Umtiti on the bench. That tells you everything. We should show Lenglet to MLS. They'll pay at 40 million. I think there will be many clubs looking to sign Lenglet. Like I think like an AC Milan would sign Lenglet, or an Inter Milan would sign Lenglet. Swap Henderson for Lenglet. I wouldn't do that in a million years. How about the Messi performance today? How did you see performance? I think Messi was okay. I think he was good. He was our most deadly player by far. And his combination with Pedri was insane. Yo, Pierre, honestly, I'm not even mad that we lost. We didn't lose. That's the thing, guys. We didn't lose. We drew, and it looks like we lost, right? We drew, and it looks like we lost. Koeman deserved this for playing the exact same lineup we play against PSG. Yeah, I think playing the same lineup against PSG, I get when managers do that because they want to get redemption in their players, but the reality is that they don't deserve that redemption. They don't deserve the chance to come back. What happened to Coutinho? Coutinho is still injured. Remember when Man U were close to buying Umtiti, and also PSG wanted Umtiti, and also Inter wanted Umtiti. Kevin Akbar, regain that form. Next season we'll have 2 Umtitis. No, honestly, we need to sell one of them. I think that we need to sell one of them 100%. If it's not Lenglet, look, we need to sell Umtiti 100%. If then we can get another player in and sell Lenglet, then sell Lenglet for by all means. But I still would keep Lenglet in the squad if it means just having a squad player, honestly, because like I do feel he's a competent guy, but just keep him in the squad. His confidence might be shattered right now. But just keep him in the squad. I don't think he's near the first team, like I said. But I will keep Araujo and then put somebody else next to Araujo, but not Lenglet. Piqué, Lenglet, and Busquets make the Bermuda Triangle of Barca. They only try to dominate slow teams or the ones that can sit back and park the bus. That's the thing. In that lineup that you say, there's no pace. Like if you remove Piqué and put it out, I think that'll be better. Or take Piqué out and take Busquets out. I think somebody in there with more movements can be better. In Aniket Kumar saying, do you think we blew our chances for the league? I'm not sure if we blew the chances for the league yet, because I feel that even with Atletico Madrid losing this many points, it could come a time where they lose more. So I think the league is lost if Atletico Madrid beats Real Madrid. I'll tell you that. If both of them leave, our center backs are going to be Garcia, Araujo, Mingueza, Alaba, and Piqué. I honestly, when people are talking about Alaba, I get Alaba, and I really like Alaba. I would get Alaba as well. But I think that maybe Alaba should play as a DM. Maybe he should play next to De Jong. Like, or instead of Busquets. Maybe he could play there. I'm not too sure, but maybe he could play there. Center back, he could also be good. He was good against Bayern Munich, with Bayern Munich, 100%. But I mean, that's the thing with Alaba. If we get Alaba, we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We can play a center back, and we can also play a CDM. I want to get Alaba. I really want to get Alaba as well. I think the signings that Barcelona need to make... I think we could talk about signings next in the future, but I think signings that Barcelona need to make this season or next season are a striker. Like I say, Haaland. People are going to call me crazy, but I would like to get Haaland. That's what I mean. I would like to get Haaland. If they cannot get Haaland, they get freaking Depay because he's on a free. So get the Depay as a second fiddle choice if you don't want the money. Then if you have that money, get someone like Gaia or Grimaldo from Benfica. I would personally like Grimaldo more than Gaia, but people like Gaia. And then I would get Eddie Garcia from a free, and I would get. I mean, I could still get Depay from a free. But I would get above all, like you were saying there, I would also get Alaba. I think Alaba would be a very good choice. So if we get, there are free players that Barcelona could get on a free this season. They could get Depay, Alaba, and Eddie Garcia. And those are good reinforcements. They're not first team starters, but they're good reinforcements. Then you use the money that you have, the much money that you have, and just try and get somebody else. Yeah, and that's the thing. Alaba can also play left backs. I think left back would be a good option for that. I think Alaba is good. So yeah. Grimaldo is a Masia player. He's thinking, I know, right? Grimaldo was from Masia. But maybe that's a reason why I like him a bit more. Aguero, I wouldn't get Aguero. He's too injury prone in my opinion. He's amazing, he really is, but I wouldn't get Aguero. I think he's just too injury prone, so I wouldn't get Aguero. Emmanuel Magdaleno Jr. says, Buga, what the fuck is this game? We have not lost in the league. There is very tough games ahead. For the top 4, we can do this. I feel like Madrid and Atletico will drop points. I will also think and hope that Atletico Madrid drop more points, especially Real Madrid, because the thing is that we are not getting close to them anytime soon, so... Who do you bring for CDM if we have the money? I have one CDM in mind, but I don't know that many people like him. CDMs that can play for Barcelona in the Barcelona way, like a boost. If you want to get, here's the thing. If you want to get a CDM, like a proper defensive CDM that is good passing and everything, who would I get? I would like to go ahead and get Thomas Suchek. That's the guy I really like. I think he's a proper baller. I really do think he's good. He's tall, aggressive. I like Thomas Tuchel as a CDM. Wilfred Ndidi is good as a CDM as well. But if you want to get, those are if you want to get defensive proper CDMs. If you want to go ahead and then get like a Busquets type of player, I would go for Gustavo Asensio from Famalicão. I don't know how you say it. Famalicão. I think it's Ciao. From Portugal, Gustavo Asensio. I will get that. I will get him. And if not, I will go ahead and get... I'll probably try and get Yuri Tielemans. Yuri Tielemans is also a player I think is very good. So those are the two players I will get. Ibrahim Sangaré from PSV is good. Kamara is good. Another good player is Thium Miners from ASC Alkmaar. I think those are good players as well. Those are more the Busquets type. But I think Barcelona honestly should try and get a more defensive CDM. I think that could work as well. Because in reality, the passing, the things that these registas do is not that dissimilar from what a proper CDM can do. So I would like to get Thomas Tuchel just to see and try. I like him. I like him as a player. What can I say? I would like to get him in the team. Yeah, people are saying Yandro Orellana. Indeed, of course. Promote Yandro Orellana and see and have him, honestly. Sandro Tonali, I think he won't move. Kimmich, he's way too expensive. He's never gonna leave Bayern ever in his life. Goretzka is not a CDM. He's not a CDM. Like, he can play CDM, but he's not a CDM. He would be what De Jong right now is to this team. I'm not into Anthony 60 Calvillo. I think Barcelona missed a really big chance in not signing Thomas Partey. I think Thomas Partey is a wonderful player. He would fit perfectly in this Barcelona team and would give us exactly what we need. A CDM that is able to play the ball, have the mobility, because he has the physicality that I was talking about, that someone like Thomas Tuchel has, and Wilfred Ndidi, and the defensive kind of know-how of those players. And then the passing and ability of someone like Yuri Tielemans and Gustavo Asensio and all of those players. I think, honestly, he's a very good player, Thomas Partey, and I don't know what the heck he's doing in Arsenal. He should be with Atletico Madrid or come to us. But what do you think of Florian Wirtz? I think he's a very good player, but there's no space in this team right now for him. We have so many similar players. There's no way. Dr. Sumata Muhamdar, how is Koeman not shaking things up? I mean, how is he thinking arty now, right now, trying to give Piqué the same game time? He ought to know how the young players need game time to sharpen their skills. I don't get your really comment. Can you write it again, but in a different manner? Because I didn't really get it. Get someone physical, for fuck's sake. Move on from the Barca sort of DNA. I mean, like, honestly, you can get somebody physical, and I wouldn't be mad. We had Ture Yaya before. We had Seydou Keita. We had players that can play ball but also be physical. And I think, like I'm saying, the best options that we have in terms of players that can play ball and are physical are Thomas Partey, Wilfred Ndidi, and Thomas Tuchel. Wilfred Ndidi not so much. His passing actually kind of sucks. But maybe even Alaba can play there. I think Alaba can play there perfectly. Ibrahim Sangaré. Bro, he's good. What are you saying? He's good. Isn't he good? Ibrahim Sangaré is proper good. From what I've seen. Yo, Pierre. Buga, this season Messi has 26 goals and assists and Griezmann has 22 goals and assists. Why people calling Griezmann trash when he's not that far away from Messi's stats? Let's bring the team now single players. Thank you. Rodri, we're not gonna get Rodri, dude. Players that are first teamers in a top 2 side in their league are never gonna come to Barcelona. They're not. We're not gonna get Rodri. We're not gonna get Kimmich. It's insane. We're never gonna get them. Derek says Sven Botman. Sven Botman is a center back. He can play as a CDM. Let me check how he has played so far. From what I know, he cannot play CDM, but maybe he can. Sven Botman is a center back, from what I know, so I don't really know. What about the Uruguayan striker Nunez? I think Nunez is a good player, but the thing is that he's not as cheap as people think. Benfica has a release clause to let him go to top five leagues for 70 million euros. So it's kind of like what Haaland will. Well, Haaland is like 100, so I guess he's cheaper, but still a lot of money. Well, I know we're talking about Todibo coming back. I think the thing with Todibo is that his attitude never really clicked with the squad. So I think that is a problem. I mean, Dembele has gotten around that. And Dembele is a good friend of Todibo from when we saw their time together. So I would still give Todibo a chance. And Buga, Thomas Partey has been getting in Arsenal. I know, that's so sad, honestly. That's so sad. What about Ryan Gravenberch? I don't know too much about Ryan Gravenberch. I haven't seen him play that much, but I know he can also play as CDM. He's been playing next to Edson Alvarez, the Mexican. So maybe he could be a good option. I'm not sure. I haven't seen him that much. Dude, stop saying teams in the top 2 of every league. Fabinho, Kimmich, Rodri. They're never going to come. They are never, ever going to come. Can we get Digne back, Lo? Dude, that's the thing I mean. Like, Digne is a good player. Cucurella is a good player. We let go of all of these good players. And then they're missing somebody else. Rainier says, more than 30 mil, no way. What are you saying that for? Do you mean for Haaland, for a striker, for a CDM? What do you mean? Yair BM2 says, Buga, seriously, I can't lose the feeling that the players just don't really care. Koeman smiling after a PSG game, players not pressuring, and I don't see the frustration or hunger. That's the thing. I think that I blame them because of course they should care. They're getting paid for this. They're representing the club. All the fans are waging their expectations on them. But I also get why they don't care that much. It's hard to care when you don't have nothing to go to. When you know there needs to be a rebuild and you're just on standby. I get that feeling. I know what probably they're feeling. I get that. I understand it. It's kind of very similar when you win the league with a team and then it's hard to win in the second one because you already feel you already won. Kind of like what a club struggled with Liverpool at the start of the season. The attitude is just not the same. Rinkesh Beast saying Denis Zakaria. Denis Zakaria is a good shout. He's a good shout. Emmanuel again saying, Buga, the sad reality is that Barca need to sell players that just can't fit in the team. We can't keep top class name in the team and think they'll fit. I agree. Haaland 86 million euros in 2022. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that could be an option because Haaland, I know maybe I think if Dortmund put a good run in the Champions League, they keep Sancho and Marco Rose start playing good, I think Haaland could stay for one more year. Stop trying to get anyone. Instead of focus on more cohesion amongst the already talented bunch. I get where you come from there, but I also think that we need reinforcements. I think that we need to get rid of the players that are stopping that cohesion between the players. So the Busquets and Piqué, I think they need to leave, the Jordi Alba as well, and then get players that could fit in there, and then start building the cohesion. That would be my way to do it. Not put cohesion first, sell players, buy players, cohesion. I will put it like that in that order, kind of like the what was it? The Wales golf football in that way. Was it that way or was Real Madrid? I have no idea. Keith Fernandez saying sell Lenglet, Umtiti for 40, Firpo 15, Coutinho 40, Neto 15, 100,000. That's all good and nice. That's all good and nice in an ideal world, but we need to get those sales, you know. Do you know what Griezmann say he's better than Messi and he should be a waitress? Imagine a world where players only get paid if they win. That will be a good season. That would be a very good season. Maybe that should be the new European Super League. Our problem is that who would ever buy the players that are ruining us? I know. On reality, that's not that big of a stretch. I could see teams try to go for Griezmann. I could see teams... The only teams... Look, Firpo has pretenders. Griezmann, I think, can have pretenders. The two where I'm really struggling to find who would get them are Umtiti and Coutinho. Honestly, with that, guys, I think we're gonna cut it there. I think we've touched probably everything there is in this live stream. Remember to check out the video that I linked here on the chat that we talk about the Koeman era and basically what's going wrong. And then also in the next few days, I'm gonna be doing a video that will go over who should we keep, who should we sell, and who should we loan. We go after every single player in the squad. No Barcelona B players, unfortunately. Every single player that has made a proper appearance with Barcelona this season, that's the ones we're going to be talking about. So just wait for that. Go and check it out. One more question, quickly. Bang. Do you think we could use Alejandro Valde Whistle Jr.? Yeah, I like Alejandro Valde a lot. I really do. I have watching a lot of live streams, highlights in the last few days. I really do feel he's a good player. He has a bags of potential. So indeed, I think he needs a chance. It's going to be everything for right now, guys. Once again, hopefully you like the video. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Ciao, ciao.